Hi and welcome. This is Joseph Noecker with the Center for Self-Balance. Today we're going to talk about leaving our scenes, leaving wherever we are in better places than when we started, when we first got there. And we know the Hippocratic Oath, which is first, do no harm. Most of us know that. We also know another one that comes up a lot is when you hear of people or yourself that if you've ever been hiking in pristine nature, one of the rules of nature is to leave things as they were. So what we're doing is we're taking this kind of to the next step, and we're doing it for a particular reason because I'm a psychotherapist, I'm a life coach, and most of the things that we're talking about here are ways to make things go better for us from the inside out, but also hopefully better for the world as a whole. So this is a good one, I think. And so with this one has to do with actually focusing on leaving something better than what it was when you first got there. And that could be in a conversation, it could be in any particular thing. What struck the image when I was thinking about this was the story of Johnny Appleseed, which I'm not a Johnny Appleseed expert, but I do remember that he was in colonial times and he walked a lot around Canada and across the Midwest, and he spread seeds that planted apple trees in all different types of area. And what I found out recently is he was really a spiritual person too. So, he actually sang a song that while he was walking through that was, and I believe the song, I don't know the tune of it, but it is Lord is Good to Me. And it's very interesting when you're thinking about that, whether you're a Christian or whatever religion you are, or if you're not, you just believe in a higher power, that being good to me and having a higher power that's good to me, and at the same time here he is spreading seeds around, being good, like he's passing it on. He's feeling this and he's passing it on. And in doing so, that creates a pretty full life. That soaks up our moments where our ego doesn't really have a chance to start going into stories. So Johnny Appleseed was one of our role models here. So we keep our ego. The other thing that happens is by doing this, we keep our ego in check by helping another out. You do not know personally and not tell anyone that you did it. So that's a key point. So if you really want to get the most out of this exercise, is that we want to focus on helping people or leaving things better where you cannot get specific praise for it, and you tell nobody about it so that your ego doesn't sneak in there and try to get particular praise. Now, let me just interrupt for a second. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing inherently wrong with doing something and getting a nice thank you from somebody, or even if I did it for the reason to make somebody, there's nothing wrong with any of that. However, remember, we're talking about, the name of my company is the Center for Self-Balance. We're talking about ways to create balance from the inside out and get the fastest route to keeping ourselves in check and keeping our ego in check, because that seems to be a common thread in keeping ourselves in a pretty good spot. So in doing what we're doing here, we're kind of, when you leave other people's praise out of it, or I'm doing it for particular rewards or that, I'm going to get a much bigger benefit out of this whole experience. So it may feel like I'm losing something a little bit on the short end by not being able to tell somebody, but you're going to gain a great psychological, emotional windfall by holding it in and not telling anybody. Your ego actually will get stronger and more secure, and the more that we are able to do these, and I say that because there's many people that are very good to their family members or very good to the people they love, and that's great. We certainly don't want to give that up, but we want to expand it, because the real nectar is when there's nothing else, there's nothing for me to gain from this except connecting with another person with no ego reward. So ego gains from the inside out instead of the outside in. This outside in ego gratification thing, it never ends. I can never get enough of that, whether it's money or attention or recognition or achievements, blah, blah, blah. I can never get enough of that. Once I start filling it up, and the reason I can never get enough of that is because that's not really what's fulfilling to me. I need to start filling it. They're literally two different reservoirs. One's filling a reservoir, but the ego reservoir it leaks out into the fields instantly. That's why I need more. When I feed it from the inside out, it stays. I gain. I gain nourishment from that. So your challenge is to try this, and I want you to try this regularly if you can. With doing this in all kinds of ways. You're at the grocery store. You're driving. You become that driver that's going to leave things better. You're going to help anybody in your vicinity as often as you can. I would just experiment with it. Try it for one day. If you can't do a day, try it for 1 hour, and start doing. And you tell me how you feel from the inside out. I'm Joseph Noecker, Center for Self Balance. Thanks for coming in.